Hello everyone, today we are here with another sum of applications of trigonometry. The diagram is already given to us. That makes this question very fantastic because diagram being given, there is nothing as such challenging find like in this question. One thing very unusual that has been asked over here is to find the ratio of heights h1 and h2. Now let us do a sort of proofreading. Let us understand this question from the first half. Two poles of height h1 meters and h2 meters subtend equal angles of 60° and 30° respectively. There are two poles of height h1 meters and h2 meters. See, this is first pole h1 meter, this is second pole h2 meter. They subtend equal angles of 60° and 30° respectively. How can they subtend equal angles 60° and 30°? Okay, subtend equal angles. I think I have written correct. Able to find out the two poles of height h1 and h2 subtend angle 60 equal नहीं है और ये गलत मैंने लिखा है, ये वर्ड नहीं है यहाँ पर. So there are two poles which are making angle 60° and 30° respectively. First pole is making an angle of 60°, second is making angle of 30°. You need not worry about the diagram, it has already been given to you. This has been already drawn. At the midpoint of the line joining their feet, these are two. Okay, what is this? Shadow of the pole. This has to be the shadow of the pole. Is there something about the shadows? This is the shadow of the pole. This is not the pole. If this is the pole, then what is this? Are you getting my point? Poles have to be erect, straight, perpendicular to the ground. So this has to be the shadow of the pole, or you can say a rope tied to the pole from the top and stretched all the way to point C. So AC and DC, they meet at a point happens to be the midpoint of line B. Question says that C is the midpoint of B. I want you people to check which line of the question says C is the midpoint of BE. Read out. See, two poles of height h1 meters and h2 meters subtend angle 60 and 30° respectively at the midpoint of the line joining their feet. Midpoint of the line joining their feet. Okay. Midpoint of the line joining their feet. See, these are the feet of the pole, isn't it? Aren't the feet of the pole? This is the entire pole. This is the foot of the pole. Both are called as feet of the pole. Now, line joining the feet of the pole is line BE. Line joining the feet of the pole is nothing but just speaking about line BE. Midpoint of the line. This has to be the midpoint because it's the only point present on this line BE, right? There's no other point present on line BE. It has to be the midpoint. Again, if somebody is not able to understand why, like how C is the midpoint, that person need not bother about all these things. Why? Because it has specifically mentioned that this is X and again this is X, which implies C is the midpoint. Clear? Question is self-explanatory. I need not make you explain anything, make you understand anything. Distance from the point on the ground to both the poles is given by X meter. How we suppose then? I have written the question completely incorrect. Need to complete the question first. Okay. Find the ratio h1 is to h2. Show your work. Find the ratio. Find the ratio. h1 is to h2. Your work. Like you are not supposed to solve it orally and write the answer, but you are supposed to work out the things, steps of how you got the answer. h1 is to h2, that is h1 upon h2 has to be found out. Okay, so finding out h1 upon h2, how? Angles are given to you. Which formula are we supposed to? You know the opposite side, which is h1. We know the adjacent side, which is x. Opposite upon adjacent, formula for tan theta. So let us go for tan theta. In triangle ABC, in triangle ABC, tan theta is equal to, what is the opposite side? It is AB. Adjacent side is BC. Let me write tan 30 degree. Sorry, it is 60, right? Tan 60 degree is equal to, value of AB is H1, value of BC is X. What is the value of tan 60? Root 3. H1 upon X. Is this understood? Is there any doubt? All right. So I want ratios of H1 and H2, like H1 is to H2 is the ratio that has to be found out. So let me find out the value of H1, specifically H1. How to find out H1? X is going to multiply root 3. In this way we can find H1. What should we write here? Root 3x. 3x is equal to H1. Rather, H1 is equal to root 3x. Equation number 1. So desire, you can write equation 1, whatever you feel like. Now going to the another triangle. Triangle's name is DEC. In triangle DEC, again which formula? Tan theta. Tell me what is tan 30 degree? Tan 30. Opposite upon adjacent. H2 upon CE or EC. H2 upon EC. Tan 30 is 1 by root 3. Is nothing but H2 upon EC. Value of EC is X. Cross multiply. Like you don't have to cross multiply. You just have to multiply X with 1. X upon root 3 is equal to H2. Or we can say that H2 is equal to X upon. So in this way, we have found out the values of H1 and H2, whose ratio we are supposed to take out in this sum. Now H1 is in front of you, H2 is in front of you. The values are just placed right in front. You're just supposed to take a ratio. How to take a ratio? What is the meaning of is 2? Meaning of is 2 is upon. H1 upon H2. So you need to divide equation 1 and taking ratios. Therefore, H1 upon H2 is equal to, write the value of H1, it is root 3x. 3x is root 3x. H2 is x upon. Now you very well know that the third number goes to the numerator and multiplies it. Root 3 will go and multiply this root to become 3. Happen is be 3x upon x and x will be cancelled out. H1 upon H2 is equal to 3 upon 1, or say H1 3 is to 1, 3 is to. Is this understood? All right. So let's go to the next sum. At a particular time of a day, Shreya noticed that the length of her shadow was equal to a height. Length of her shadow was equal to a height. Now, let us draw a triangle depicting this situation. The right angle triangle. A. What is AB? AB is Shreya, herself standing very erect and straight on the ground. Is Shreya, AB. What is AC? AC is the length of her shadow. Is it the length of her shadow? AC. What is AC? Shadow is always the ground, right? BC is the length of the shadow. And AC is just a line connecting the light rays from the sun or this light. Light rays are slanting, right? They are just the light rays. I'm extremely sorry if I said something like length of the shadow and all. Shadow is this way. All right, so let me specify things, what all assumptions I have made. Let me specify things. I need to write here AB is equal to Shreya's, isn't it? BC is equal to length of Shreya's shadow. Shreya's shadow. Okay. Shreya noticed that the length of her shadow was equal to her height. Length of her shadow was equal to her height. This is the length of her shadow, isn't it? And this is her height. These two sides are equal. Question says length of the shadow is equal to the height. We have BA is equal to B given. Which of this is the measure of the angle of elevation of the sun from her head? This is supposed to be her head. This is the angle of elevation. We're supposed to find out theta. How can we find it? Simple. If we have the opposite side, if we have the adjacent side, tan theta is the formula. In triangle A, tan theta equal to opposite side upon adjacent side. Tan theta is equal to opposite side upon adjacent side. Tan theta is equal, what is the opposite side? AB. And what is the adjacent side? CB or BC. But AB is equal to, AB and BC are alike. AB and BC are alike according to the question. Tan theta will be, in place of AB, may I write BC? Because AB is equal to BC. BC can be written as such. What will I get? 1. Tan theta is equal to 1. Tan theta is equal to 1. Now in the trigonometry table, for which angle tan theta is 1? 45 degree. What should I write here? Tan theta is equal to tan 45 degree. Therefore, theta equal to 5 degree. Theta is answer option. I hope things are clear. I've understood.